Hey, what's up? It's your host, Torry, and who is ready to be petty? Welcome to today's third birthday extravaganza. I cannot believe truly that we're at RTBP's third birthday and that I have been podcasting for 3 years. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for listening. If today's your first episode or your 80-somethingth, I so appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen, and it brings me so much joy to think about people, commuting to work or washing the dishes or on a hot girl walk or something like that, listening to my stupid theories and my, little thoughts about TV shows, etc. I know I'm always not the most consistent podcaster. It's a little up and down sometimes, but it really has brought me a lot of joy. I love the new friends that I've made through podcasting, all of the people that I've met, all of the great conversations I've had, some that have really influenced the way I see the world, and I just so appreciate what this podcast has brought into my life. Today is a special episode. I'm going to share a new story that I haven't shared on the pod, and then we are going to take a look back at a bunch of clips from the past year and just reminisce a little bit. So let's get to my first story. So I couldn't remember if I had told this story on the podcast, and it is one of my all-time stories. When you have a story that you tell at parties, or it's your go-to story. I have a few. Definitely the haircut story, which I'm about to tell you. The Starbucks one, which I told on one of the first couple episodes of the podcast. The story about my cousin's bachelorette in Hawaii, which I don't think I've shared on the podcast, but I definitely will have to one day. I don't know, you just have those stories in your back pocket for whenever you feel like, you need to put on a little bit of a performance. And I just tweeted out, have I ever told the haircut story on the podcast? Not thinking maybe people would be yeah, maybe I think so, or no, or whatever. But it was so cool. An account called Rob's Fact Checker, aka Costa, messaged me on Twitter and asked if I needed some help finding out if I had shared this story on the pod. I think most people know this, but just some backstory. I am a longtime listener and patron of the podcast Rob Has a Podcast. He covers tons of reality TV, most specifically Survivor, that I watch. So I've been following Rob's fact checker, who verifies the things that get said on Rob Has a Podcast on Twitter, for a long time. And they did me the absolute honor and privilege, because trust me, I was the most annoying person to deal with. They did me the honor and scanned all of my previous episodes and said that I have not shared this story on the podcast. So I'm going to share it now. And thank you so much, Costa, for just, taking the time out of your day to do that. I so appreciate it. So a handful of years ago, I just forgot about getting a haircut, I guess. It wasn't unreally. When you have the most basic bitch haircut, I would say like me, I would say even no haircut. Sometimes you can just honestly forget that you have a hair, need a haircut, because my hair is just brown and straight. So there was one year, a few years ago, and I had horse girl long hair. It was absolutely disgusting. I have no idea how people didn't tell me to chop it all off, until again my sisters told me to chop it all off. And I was home in my hometown Kamloops over Christmas break. It was actually New Year's Eve, and I was This was the 30th. And I was like, okay, the 31st, I am chopping off all my hair, and I have enough that if I donate it, which is like 9 or like 11 inches, sorry to my metric people, I literally don't even know what that is in centimeters, but it would be down to like my boobs. So it's like I was cutting off my hair, but it was long enough that like I would have medium length hair. So it's like, it's not a big deal at all. And I can still, you know, do this great thing, donate my hair. Somebody gets a wig out of it. So it's the 30th. I'm searching online. Again, I'm not in the city I usually live in, so I'm like, I don't know where to get my haircut. I end up finding an appointment the next day at like 11 a.m. At this mall salon. But if you can believe it, no red flags are going off at this point. And I think I was really calm, which is weird because in grade 9, I did a full bob and had like a full-on identity crisis and like had a meltdown and hated like every single picture of my hair that summer. But again, it was so long and I was chopping off, like only enough to have medium length hair. So I didn't really think too much of it. So I book with this random hairstylist. I get to the salon and I'm like, yeah, I'm donating it. So it needs to be in a ponytail because obviously you can't just mail like a sack of like scraps of hair. Like it has to be put together in one piece. And you bring your envelope and the hairdresser just puts the ponytail in the envelope and you mail it, which again, no red flags were going off at this point. But I sit down in the stylist's like chair. She puts my hair in a ponytail and she chops it off. She like kind of moves the chair and I can kind of see myself in the mirror and it's like my hair is down to my boobs. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. It's like now she can just like add some layers and I can be on my merry way, stop at Canada Post on the way home. And then she's like, oh, and turns me a little bit the other way. And my hair is like above my shoulders, like not below my ear, but like right below my chin. So it is completely and absolutely like the definition of lopsided. And I am starting to have a mental panic. So then obviously she has to make it even. So she cuts the other side to like my chin and then styles it. I go home with like literally like not a Kate Middleton haircut. That's what I thought I was going home with. A John and 8. No, John and Kate plus 8 haircut. Like a can I speak to the manager haircut. Just like absolutely devastating for a person of my age. And like I said before, it's New Year's. So I had to like go out that night with my girlfriends and pretend that I was mentally well. Anyways, I slightly recover. I am back home. I go on YouTube like days after this disastrous haircut. And the first video that pops up is how to cut your hair for wig donations. And I click on it and the person getting their haircut has like 10 tiny ponytails. And it's like, oh my fucking God, how did no one realize that that's what you have to do to make it not lopsided? Is you put like, 5 or 6 little ponytails and you mail the 5 or 6 little ponytails, not just one huge ponytail. And that has haunted me for like 7 years now. Have you ever had a disastrous haircut? Please let me know in... I was going to say the comments below, but DM me, comment on one of my posts, tweet at me, let me know. And of course, send me pictures. I fucking hate when people are like, it's just hair, it'll grow back. It's like, okay, you know that a full like head of hair takes like a year to grow out, and a year is a long time. So I get that it just comes back, but like it's not like it comes back the next day. Like you're waiting like a year. And you probably guessed this, but if you didn't, I am definitely 1000% the bitch that turns around in the stylist chair, looks in the mirror, absolutely loathes her haircut, and, you know, smiles through tears and tells the stylist how much I love and appreciate it, and then tip 20% on my way out. Anyways, thank you so much to Rob's fact checker for ensuring that I am not a story repeater on this podcast. I so appreciate it. Okay, now that we've gone through a new story, let's get to the clip show. We are throwing it back to November 2020, where Champ and I were talking about which celebrity Chris was our favorite.
I want to ask you though, Torry. I think I know your answer to this question already, but I was wondering who you think is the best Chris. And my prediction is that because I know how much you like when celebrities get their peens out on social media accidentally, I know you love a good accidental peen pick. I think your favorite is Chris Evans.
I just threw up.
As well, is that I don't even think you know who he is, but I think that you know about the peen pick, and that's why he's your favorite. True or false?
Okay, so false. at the beginning of 2020, I tried to cancel penis pics.
I didn't know about that. I didn't see that in the trending topics. I didn't know.
Okay, I don't know if I actually said this on the podcast or if it was at work, which is kind of even more concerning, but I swear to God, I've said the hashtag, like, canceled dick pics 2020. I think that it was at work, which is less concerning because I do work in sexualized violence prevention, right, and they're often unsolicited, which is a form of harassment. So maybe it's not that weird that I said it at work, but no one needs a dick pic. I honestly think solicited or not. Like, it's just no one needs that. Truly. I don't know one person that's been happy receiving a dick pic. And Chris Evans, especially because it was unsolicited, just the same. He said that it was like, oh, this is a leaked photo. And then he was like, now that I've got your attention, please vote. And I was like, this isn't the way to do it.
Important to vote though.
Absolutely. But I don't think it's like, oh, I just saw Chris Evans' dick. Now I need to like run to my post office with my mail-in ballot.
You got to flex your Democratic muscle, Torry.
Yeah. I am absolutely speechless. The election time was pretty tense. I think we were all on our wits' end, but I know the listeners always love when Champ makes an appearance on RTBP. But let's quickly move on to our second clip. I'm joined by Teddy, and we're talking about The Princess Switch 2.
Okay, we wanted to talk about The Princess Switch. I obviously watched the first movie when it came out in like 2018 or whatever. Not gonna lie, I couldn't get through the second one.
See, there's a trick to these movie stories, especially for this one. You watch it and wait. So I watched it over the course of 3 separate days. I just finished it before the podcast. I had like 5 minutes left. It got super cheesy. It's a lot of the same story again, but I love Christmas movies. I know they're going to end up together at the end. That's fine with me. I watch for the cute boys. That's fine with me. The decorations and soundtracks, it is the same story over and over again, but I'm a sucker for that, just like I am with Christmas music. I love Vanessa Hudgens in Christmas movies personally. This is her niche. She's found her thing. I'm not embarrassed for her. Get your paycheck. You're working. I enjoy. She has a good Christmas spirit, in my opinion.
Okay, you've touched on some really important things that I want to talk about. You're totally right. I should have watched this in 2 chunks. I'll probably finish the rest of it tonight. I got like 3/4 of the way through. Like, I'm at the part where one of the 3 Vanessa Hudgens gets kidnapped. Can't recall who it was, like, honestly, and it was like 12 hours ago, like, so rough. But yeah, I'm like an hour 30 out of like 2 hours in. Like, I'm pretty much done. That was a question that I had for you, is are you embarrassed for these people?
No, and I saw that question. No, I'm not. They're working. It's more embarrassing if you're not shown. Everyone loves a classic Christmas movie, no matter what. At the end of the day, kids will watch it, if anything. You know what I mean? And she still can sing if she needs to. She will always have High School Musical to fall back on. No, she's where I'm happy for her. I know she had a little questionable mishap earlier this year with coronavirus that I'm just now remembering. I might be letting her off too easy here, but I enjoyed her in Christmas together.
Yeah, I think like for her especially, this is such an easy transition from like Disney Channel movies
good point.
to Netflix. Yeah. Like it's basically like same. And you're right, she also was in Night Before Christmas.
Love that one too.
So good. Like that was actually like one that I like fully watched, like fully paying attention. Mm-hmm. But I feel a little embarrassed. I think like, so I don't think that I'm embarrassed that she's doing Christmas movies on Netflix. Okay. I think the premise of the 3 like triplets.
It's like if Parent Trap had a part 3.
Like I was like the first one, I was like, okay, this is like kind of getting a little bit embarrassing, like you changing your like accent and stuff. But then once we got to 3 characters of the same person, I was like, this is a touch embarrassing.
Imagine the 3rd movie. It'll be quintuplets.
Yeah.
There should not be a 3rd. I will say this. As much as I love the idea, if there's a 3rd movie and I see 5 Vanessa Hudgens, that's where I draw the line.
Agreed.
Of course, we had to include this teaser for an episode in the future because we're going to be back talking about Princess Switch 3, and we'll see if any of our predictions came true. Is there going to be 5 Vanessa Hudgens? Only time will tell, but I feel like Christmas is Teddy's and I's favorite time of year, so I can't wait to shoot the shit with him. This next clip, I was laughing so hard, and honestly, some of these things like still haunt me to this day. I swear to God, I get turkey leg propaganda on all of my socials because of this one clip. Here is Nick from episode 44.
I'm glad we brought this turkey situation up because it was just American Thanksgiving, and I've been wanting to talk about turkey for a bit because honestly, if I think of like kind of like the main meal or the main course at like certain big holidays, which if I'm thinking like big holidays for food, I think Easter, even though I'm not all that religious. I think 4th of July here in America, even though it's just hot dog and hamburgers, like it's a big food barbecue holiday. I love that. And I think Thanksgiving and I think Christmas. And of all of the meals, turkey's the worst. I don't know why turkey has such a hold on like not only the American people but the world. Because, and we were talking about this, a few weeks ago, because you had tweeted something about drumsticks.
Yes.
So let me pass the conversation back over to you to give some background on the grab that turkey has on human beings as a whole.
Yes. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I have been tweeting on my personal account. So if you follow RTBP podcast on Twitter, you will not find this. But on my personal account, I just said, I'm back on my bullshit, and that's eating a drumstick every night. But I was worried, and this thought crossed my mind before I tweeted it. Like, will people think I'm talking about like a turkey leg, like drumstick? And I was like, that's like fucking disgusting. I'm like basically vegetarian. Also, my mom is going to give me shit for swearing so much on this podcast. But I was like, that's disgusting because I like barely eat meat. For some reason, I think it's disgusting. And I just don't want people to think I'm like chewing on like a little turkey leg in my bed, like before bed. But it's like an ice cream cone. Honestly, I never eat ice cream. Well, I eat it like
every night, apparently.
Yeah. But like for some reason, I was at the grocery store like a month ago, and I picked up these drumstick ice cream cones that are like mocha flavored. They're like mocha cookie crunch or something like that. They're so good. They're so good. Like, sponsor the pod, please. But anyways, so I was like, I hope that people don't think this, but I was like, there's no way they do. People know me. And then Nick messages me and he's like, is this a turkey leg or something like that? I was like, no, I can't believe people would think that. It's disgusting.
So here in America, we call those like a Big Dipper. Like, it's the same thing, I think. So like and I love a Big Dipper, but like I call them drumstick. Like, that's not the proper title. But in me checking with you what you meant by drumsticks, I was like, I hope she's not talking about like a turkey or chicken leg, but she very well could be. We have this common shared experience of the giant ass turkey legs they serve at Disney World. Like, no condiment, no side. It's just like you walk up to the shack and it's like, turkey leg, turkey leg. You walk like 10 feet down the road, there's some other shack that's like, turkey leg, buy your turkey leg here. Like, why?
Okay, they don't even give you like a fucking box for it or like a tray.
They hand you the bone and they say here, as if I'm like one of the like, what are those people called in Snow White that live in the woods with her?
Dwarfs?
As if I'm some magical dwarf. They're like, here is your turkey leg, the size of your head. Be grateful that you just paid $20 for this. They don't even give you a napkin.
I know. That's the thing that blows my mind. It's like, I've seen this at Disneyland, and it's like, okay, so I'm about to go on a roller coaster. What do I want to eat before this? Like 20 pounds of fucking greasy meat? Like, no.
And they're like huge, thick.
Huge.
Like, these definitely came from factory farms. But they are thick thighs.
The bone is like hefty. Like, people like clutch it.
No, honestly, like, it could be like a weapon. If I tried to bring that on a plane, they would be like, no, sir. That can go through checked baggage. Like, that thing is like a medieval, like, bludgeoning stick.
Totally. It reminds me of when you said that to me. I'm like, no, I'm not at fucking medieval times.
Yes, medieval times.
Yeah. Eating eating a turkey
like, yeah,
leg.
here's your mutton chop. Cheer on your horse. Like, go blue horse, and the blue horse dies, and you're like, well, here's me and my chicken leg on this plate with my like dirty sink water.
Yeah, like drinking out of like a fucking stein. Like, it's disgusting. Okay, if I think of like, oh, what's a time that I'd like to eat? It's like not medieval cuisine. Like, that's disgusting. Like, oh, I want to eat. Yeah, like fucking roast turkey and like other animals. Like, no.
Wait, what is the biggest complaint people have about turkey?
It's dry.
It is dry. Why do you know what? I just cracked the code again. I feel like every time I come on the show, I'm like a conspiracy theorist. I bet you that Disney World sells turkey legs because they're like expensive as shit. They only give you the leg. And the second you start eating that turkey, what do you want?
A drink.
So then they capitalize on it, and they make you go to the drink station and buy the $10 like bottle of Aquafina because they don't even have quality water.
Yeah, I actually like honestly believe that. It just doesn't also have any tie-in to like anything, because all of their other food is like Disney branded or like Dole Whip at the Tiki Bar. Like all of that makes sense, but then it's just like random turkey leg things. I had gone to Disneyland when I was like 10, but I don't think I remembered that. And then I went last year, and that was like my biggest takeaway.
So I had never been to Disney World until I turned 18. The summer that I graduated high school, me and some friends road trip down to her aunt's place in Tampa, and then we went like to and from like Disney basically because it was close enough. It was like an hour, and for term people don't know Florida geography.
We don't.
So I had never been there as a kid. All of my other friends had been there as a kid, like, you know, Disney resorts, and I was like, yeah, my parents didn't do that shit with my sister and I. So we got there, and everybody was having the time of their life, and my sister and I were like, what is going on in this world where there are children crying everywhere? I was like, this is the happiest place on earth, and you're crying. Your parent paid like $1,000 for you to cry all day.
Here's a turkey leg to make you feel better.
Yes, and turkey leg stations everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, damn. And I was like, I thought this was like a Southern thing. So like I hadn't thought twice of it until you had just brought it up at Disneyland, which is in California. And I was like, who are they serving in California that wants a turkey leg?
No.
Nobody in California eats meat.
No, it is just so weird. Like, maybe I should Google like history of the turkey leg at Disneyland. Like, honestly, because it just, I guess it's by the castle, which I guess could be medieval-y. Like, I don't know.
No, because Cinderella's castle is not medieval-y because they're trying to purposely be like, here's this like rich family and here's this poor girl. But even the poor girl isn't like Merida from Brave.
One of the things I'll never get over, and you're totally right, I feel like that meme with the red string every time I'm talking on this podcast, just because it's something I'm so passionate about, and then people are going to be like, you're literally talking about turkey legs. Well, here you go.
But it is. And whoever goes to Disney World next or Disneyland, first of all, props to you for risking your life for capitalism.
Yeah, yeah.
Second,
honestly.
Check out the amount of times you either hear somebody say turkey leg, because it's not just the workers who are yelling turkey leg. Like, there are families that look forward to the turkey leg. And the amount of signs or places that serve a singular turkey leg.
And if you're a turkey leg family, DM us and let us know why.
And if anybody has written a research paper on, again, like Torry said, about why they had the turkey leg there, please, I would love to read it. Truly and honestly, would love to read it.
Me too.
So, like, I don't know if there's any high schoolers on this that listen to your content, Torry.
Maybe.
But if you have the freedom to write a research paper on what you want, if you do the turkey leg, we will give you a shout out on the podcast, and I might even send you like $10 if you're American.
Yeah. And there you have it. We have had, at least I have had, no DMs yet coming out with any information about why they sell turkey legs at Disneyland. And I am still curious. So again, if that's you, if you have any idea of why they sell this outrageous food item at all Disney parks, please let us know. I am still as bamboozled as I was back in November 2020 when we talked about Demi Lovato's Thanksgiving that turned into a very passionate discussion about turkey legs. Okay, we are moving in to a clip from episode 47. It was a solo pod. I was sharing a little bit of embarrassment and, you know, just really getting intimate and vulnerable with the listeners. Here I am talking about being tacky in Paris. The next story is also about clothes, and it was like a tweet or TikTok or something that I saw, and it's this girl, and she's pretending to be a host at a restaurant in Paris, and she's greeting the guests, and she's saying like, bonjour, bonsoir, bonjour, bonjour. And then it's like when the host sees me and my mom, and it's like, hello. and it was so fucking funny because that is literally what happens in Paris, is like they just start speaking English to you because they know you're like some tacky tourist. But Kate, this is the problem that I have with this. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, pack a bunch of different clothes just for Paris? Like, yes, I'm rolling up in my like fucking sneaker and like maybe like a khaki short. I don't know why that was the first item that came to mind. Like, I'm like in a safari, but I kind of look like that, but like I'm in comfortable clothes because I've been running around your city all day, taking in the sights. So yeah, I look like trash, but nothing is more demeaning than walking into like a Parisian bakery or restaurant and then being like, hello. I don't know why that kind of sounded British, but literally nothing just says like you're a piece of shit than someone French switching to English immediately. I wish one day that I will be that traveler though. Like that has those beautiful outfits and can like take those beautiful photos. Remember when I thought that was me in Scotland and then I was in a fucking rain poncho for the full 2 days? I just thought that I was gonna get like some beautiful, like aesthetically pleasing Instagram photos, and I just looked like a total chump. Okay, if you're listening to this on its premiere date, I am currently in Mexico looking like a tacky ass tourist. So, just put a little prayer out there for me. I, can speak Spanish, so I could pick up if someone is talking shit about the fit, but it's not the same. There's nothing the same as like the disdain of a French person as you enter their boulangerie looking for a croissant. A croissant. There just truly is not. Okay, this clip was highly requested. We are moving on to some juicy celeb gossip. Here's Nissy and I talking about our fave couple, Niley. Yeah, so was there a tour? Because I definitely went to the Hannah Montana. This is so embarrassing. I guess it's not embarrassing because it's like, look what we're talking about. But like, I literally went to the 3D concert experience in a theater.
Yeah, no, I definitely did too. And I went to that tour with the Jonas Brothers in Hannah Montana. I actually saw Hannah Montana when she was opening for the Cheetah Girls. So that was before everything else.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're living my dream.
I had nothing else to do. And I actually made a TikTok because I also saw the Jonas Brothers on tour around the same time. And I was, like I said, a huge Niley stan since the beginning. And I went to the Jonas Brothers concert wearing a Hannah Montana wig because I thought that would make Jonas notice me.
Oh my god. Like, what was going through your head? Like, he'll leave Hannah for me.
It wasn't even, I just was like, you know what? He's so in love with Miley. Like that episode, he falls in love with Hannah. Like if he sees me in the crowd with this wig on, like he's gonna fall in love. Like 100%.
I'm obsessed with that. I've seen so many TikToks of girls being like, when I was like 10 or 11 going to concerts and getting like fully ready and just being like, this will be the like outfit that they'll like see me in. And it's so funny because they're like, what did I think was gonna happen? Like we were gonna like meet and fall in love.
Honestly, I love it because it's like I have less confidence now than I did back then. Like,
100%. Like I've been taking down a handful of notches. I would never do something like that now, but like right. I love that. I love girls before society has a chance to like beat them down.
Exactly. So I'm like, honestly, go off, sister. Like you thought Nick Jonas was gonna fall in love with you with a wig on? Yep, he was.
Whew, and there you have it. I love in this clip. Maybe it's because it was my first time talking with Nissy. Maybe because I'm trying to clean up the pod for my mom. Who knows? But I absolutely love how I said fall in love instead of fuck. Because in my head, I really did want to say fuck. Maybe just that sounded too crass at the time. I've been also listening to a lot of pods about Priyanka and Nick possibly being in a PR relationship and Priyanka being like a big social climber. And yeah, I found that really interesting. I'm specifically talking about the Beyond the Blinds podcast. We just had Troy on an episode, but I've been seeing a lot of TikToks and blind items and just like gossip stories about this couple. I would love nothing more for him to dump Priyanka and get back together with Miley. Okay, moving on to another celeb couple. This is Ida and Zach talking about Prince Philip. May he rest in peace. But yeah, I'm waiting like on the edge of my seat for the Queen's birthday and Prince Philip's birthday to see if they show up because I think that will be so fascinating.
Or Prince Philip's funeral, to be honest. I mean, I mean,
I
we
feel
laugh,
so
but,
bad. I feel so bad.
this man just had like what, open heart surgery or something? Like, he is not well.
Zachary, your face was so sincere, and then Ida and I are just like dying.
This is
I'm like,
a
well,
complete side tangent. Like, I literally think the Queen, Prince Philip, I agree with Zachary. He's living life on the edge. I think Queen Elizabeth is immortal. Like, I think she will outlive me.
well, the women on that side of the family, they
They don't
live.
die. Yeah, they live.
Even because the Queen Mother, she was like a low-key alcoholic. And she was what, like 103?
Yes.
But she was a low-key alcoholic. Like, they
Yeah.
kept that on the DL. But she was like partying up until the end.
So Zachary and I were having like a side conversation like on Instagram before, and we were just chatting, and they go, "Oh, what if the name of the daughter is Diana?" And I was like, that is the one thing that could kill Queen Elizabeth. Like, not COVID-19. Like, if that baby comes out and it is like Diana, funeral time.
Oof, I feel like that was slightly cringy to look back on. And you know, when you're just like, this is something I cannot laugh at, like, at all. Someone's death, heartache, you know, someone tripping in the middle of the street, something like that, but you just can't help it. I feel like that was Ida and me in this moment. And I feel like, reflecting on it, my Prince Philip meme roundup on Instagram was one of the most tasteless yet funny and like most commented on things I've ever done on this podcast. But we have our first 2-time entry into, you know, the top 10 moments for the last year of Ready to Be Petty. This was a slightly unhinged, slightly tipsy episode with Mr. Nicholas John. It is episode 56, part 2. We're talking about those lacti-free bitches.
It's almost like people who are like lactose intolerant and they're like eating ice cream anyway. And they're like, I'm gonna regret this later, but like it's not gonna kill me, so I don't care. Like, allergies are the same type of like concept as like people who are like mowing down an entire pint of Ben and Jerry's, knowing they'll like hate their life for about 4 hours and 6 hours.
I have like 3 lactose friends who pre-COVID, we would do a weekly potluck, and I've never seen 3 people drink as much milk and eat as much cheese as these 3.
Milk is, first of all, milk is nasty. I'm gonna throw my sister under the bus here for a second. So my sister's been working at home for like, you know, nearly a year now, like the rest of us. Well, not me, because it's your life, but most people. And this week she spilled an entire glass of milk on her work laptop, and it like immediately crashed, and then she had to go to work to like get like her laptop replaced. And she was mad all week long about this. And I was like, Emily, you spilled a glass of milk on your laptop. Like, that's fucking nasty. Like, of all things, milk, like, it couldn't have been water. It couldn't have been like a margarita. It couldn't have been lemonade. Like, you spilled 1% milk on your laptop. Why are you drinking milk in the middle of the day? Like, that's her first question. You want to know what she had the nerve to say, Torry? Well, I was eating grilled cheese. As if grilled cheese if grilled cheese and
necessitated
milk are like milk and cookies, or like
I'm laughing so hard that I honestly might pee my pants.
My family also has this like obsession of like offering milk when we eat like spaghetti with
like, what is with white people doing that? My family does the fucking same. Why the fuck would I want a glass of milk with spaghetti? That seems so bad.
Right? And every time I'm like, it will either be dinner time or like be at my parents like eating dinner, and my dad will be like, anybody want milk? And my sister will be like, I will. And I'll be like, you gross ass humans. Like, I actually don't drink when I'm eating, like often, like I don't pair the two, which is probably like an issue for another time we can set aside.
Okay.
But like, I'm not drinking a milk with pasta. Like, I'm having 2 things. If I'm having a drink, water,
yes,
because that feels natural,
yes.
or like if I'm feeling like, you know, it's a night, I'll have a glass of red wine with it. But the last thing I want with my like jarred pasta sauce is a white milk. Like, that is so nasty to me because I just think back to like when I was like 8 and didn't get to make decisions for myself, and I'd have like a glass of milk with my pasta sauce. And I would sip it, and then I'd put my glass back down, and it would be like a red ring of my like malt on the rim.
That is such a specific childhood memory, and I feel like me and everyone else has had that. What the fuck is with that? That is so weird. I don't need to drink a glass of milk to get my like dairy protein like allowance for the day. Bitch, I eat so much cheese.
And this is what Torry Nick's 4th podcast and probably the 4th mention of cheese in a different type of conversation.
100%. For some reason, when I think of parents making their kids drink milk at dinner, like I really truly only think of spaghetti.
Yeah, and it's because it's like, oh, gotta get the calcium in, strong bones.
I'm good, girl.
I moved out, and the milk I buy now is like almond milk. And how often do I use milk, you ask?
How often?
With my iced coffee.
Oh my God, same. I only use milk in my coffees. Like the last time I had a glass of milk would have been in my childhood. It's disgusting. I can't even think of that.
To drink milk on its own, like at least I can get like you pouring like a small glass for like chocolate chip cookies if you want to like dunk it, like right, like if you want the experience that like you crave that gives you happiness, like
Yeah.
Sure, but like milk, like that's the hill we're dying on.
Honestly, yeah. I love how we got here from lactose people, but like it is true. I see it on TikTok all the time, people making fun of lactose people that are just like, just get ready for me, like I'm just gonna do this anyways.
Well, it's like the only allergy that people have that they like
can like dabble. Yeah.
I think of like my friends who are like allergic to wheat or are like proper gluten-free.
Yeah.
And like they don't even like
celiac.
mess around with it. They're like, there was a crumb on that plate. Or you just ate a slice of pizza. I can't kiss you. Right? It's like that intense. And the lactose people are like, you got any more of those cheese sticks? Like, yes, give me like the peeled cheese in my mouth. Oh, let's chase that with whole milk featuring 2 scoops of Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Okay.
Sorry to the lactose people listening to this podcast.
Which is like...
Unless you fully relate to this.
Honestly, it's like probably 50% of my podcast listeners. I just know. Like, in my heart of hearts, I know that it's most people. I still think about this episode all the time. I feel like a little BTS, it is the most I've ever laughed on the pod, and probably one of the couple months in the last year or two that I like needed the most laughs. So I so appreciate that. And I just think the milk thing with your lactose-free friends and the spaghetti and milk situ is just like, it's niche, but I feel like also a universal experience, if that makes any sense. So I just so enjoyed that conversation. Next is actually one of our personal faves. I'm not gonna lie, I put this one on here. It is from one of the biggest gets I've had on the pod. She was so fun to talk to, and obviously I listened to her pod and her TikToks. Of course, I'm talking about Claire Parker of Celebrity Memoir Book Club. We had such a fun conversation. She's so funny. She could just talk for hours. I like don't even need to say anything, but this was one of my favorite clips from episode 61.
My friend Ashley, who's my co-host, always jokes that the biggest trolls on the internet are pet accounts. So she had like a pet account named, it was like Scooter the Golden or something. Cooper the Golden. He was a golden doodle. And he would not stop bullying her. He was being so mean, like calling her ugly, calling her stupid. And so she made a TikTok being like, why is it always the pet accounts that bully you and troll you the hardest? And then her video got taken down for bullying and harassing. Oh my God. Cooper the Golden is at large, just bullying people. And all she tried to do was ask about it nicely. She didn't even bully him. She was just like, what is up with the dogs? Why are dogs calling me ugly on here?
Oh my
God. That really is. Talk about censorship.
That dog thing lives rent free in my mind. I usually absolutely hate dog social media personalities. So I feel like I just got such a kick out of when she was saying that the dog lives on uncensored and scot-free. I am a believer of bones/no bones days. For those living under a rock, that is the TikTok sensation Noodle, a 13-year-old pug who dictates whether you're going to have like a good day or bad day by being able to either like stand up or like only lie down. And I swear to God, it's the only dog social media star that I will ever listen to. Okay, we are entering recent times. These might sound familiar. Here is my conversation with Maddie about Authentic Girl Autumn.
This was a TikTok I saw that just really rubbed me the wrong way because this week all of like the pumpkin spice things came back into our life.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God. I'm like a pumpkin spice stan through and through.
Same.
It like gets me through the day. And obviously Starbucks came out with their stuff this week, which is amazing. And some girl had the audacity to post a TikTok where she said that pumpkin spice lattes are chuggy. And when I saw this, I was like, you are lying. First of all, are we really going to make a drink chuggy?
They did.
And and she did. Yeah. And she did. And I mean, thankfully, all the comments were like exactly what I was thinking. And they were like, that makes no sense. Like, this is a drink. It's a good drink. Like, let us live in peace. But then it just like the whole thing, because I thought chuggy was like funny at first. Like all the things that people were saying were chuggy, I like generally agreed with. I was like, oh yeah, like that's so out of style. Like, haha. Like it all made sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it just got taken to an extreme where people are calling like the most random things like pumpkin spice lattes that are just like objectively good. And they're calling them chuggy. And why are you ruining people's fun? I don't know. And it just kind of comes back to the whole thing that like anything that's considered like basic is considered like bad.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
No.
That is not true at all.
No.
And they always think about how like guys always say like, oh, like you're so basic because you like your pumpkin spice latte. Like you try it. Like try it.
And like it's like you will like enjoy sports.
It. Like literally what? You literally just like watch men hit balls all the time and we're supposed to not like to drink a drink that tastes good.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
So I just had to draw the line at a girl calling a pumpkin spice latte chuggy because that was just like too far.
Okay. I'm so glad that you brought this up because I have so much to say.
Great.
So yeah, it has been, I think in Canada, 2 full days since PSL season has started. And 2 days ago, I made a promise to myself that I was going to have the most like white girl autumn of my life.
I love that for you. I love that journey for you.
Because this actually sounds really sad. And I don't think it happens like all the time. I kind of feel like I've been like suppressing my like normal personality. Because I feel like I'm extremely chuggy and basic, and I actually feel like shame about that.
Wait, so you've just been like personally victimized by like all things chuggy?
Yeah,
you're like hiding things in your house. You're like not wearing certain outfits. Wait, that's sad.
I know, and I was like, no, I feel like I am always like, yeah, I listen to Justin Bieber and like High School Musical, like get over it. Like, yeah, I'm turning 29 in a few days, but like, I'm just gonna like live my life. You have one life to live, right?
Right.
But
right.
I feel like I like haven't been drinking Starbucks.
Like this is like a sin. I feel so bad for you.
I know.
You need to have so many pumpkin spice lattes.
I know. I'm going to. The other bone I have to pick. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go all out this year. I already bought some Halloween decorations.
Awesome.
I'm gonna like go to a pumpkin patch. I'm gonna I'm not gonna like wear a circle scarf, but like I'm gonna.
But like, if you want to, you should just feel like you can do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I kind of want to like go apple picking with my family in the most just like ironically chuggy outfit that there is, like the original like Christian girl fall.
Yes.
Like I want to become that
Yes.
and just like see what reactions I get. I think that'd be so funny.
I love that, like tight ringlet curls.
Oh yeah,
skinny jeans with like a dark wash, like
yeah, a dark wash skinny jean with like a riding boot of some kind that like isn't cute at all. Yeah.
Yeah, the Luke Skywalker look for sure.
Yeah.
I bet everyone's thinking right now there's no way Torry made good on any of her promises because she is a flake, but I want to say I have gone to a pumpkin patch. I have made pumpkin cookies. I have drank PSLs. I have a pumpkin spice coffee creamer. I've crunched on some leaves. I decorated my house. I have truly lived an authentic girl autumn. It's been a really good fall. I truly suggest if you ever want to just live a carefree existence, there's nothing more carefree than being an authentic girl in the autumn. Let me tell you that much. Okay, this next clip also hit it big in the RTBP community. It is from episode 64 with Mo and Christina from the Movies That Raised Us podcast. And we are talking about the trope of Vogue writers or like any editorial writers introducing their celebrity guest with the longest, most winded, detailed, quirky intro you could ever imagine. So here is Mo, Christina, and I talking about Vogue. She also mentioned this in the article, and then we can move on. But she also did say in the article, like, I know I'm hot, and I like leveraged that. Like, I knew that my looks and like our combined like looks was gonna like get us into the door, and like we could like utilize that. That's why we started doing.
I think
like,
I read this same article.
Probably it was like Variety or something.
Yeah, maybe it was like an article on Bustle, but they quoted like that, like they were like, we read this article, now we're summarizing it in our own words.
yes But the photo shoots for those articles, again, I don't know where it was coming from, they're so good, and they look so like, she looks like a celebrity. And the article was like, yeah, she toned down her bleach blonde hair a little bit, and like
it was the same article.
Yes.
Because I remember that I was like, you're really it felt very like you know how when you read like Vogue or something, it's like she walked in carrying a chicken salad with mandarin slices. Like we got it, girl.
Why is that such a popular, like, I was reading a Josh Bassett.
I was just gonna say the Joshua Bassett. I did read that, yes.
It's like he was 20 minutes late and apologized profusely, like before sitting down with his oat milk latte. Like,
as fans outside took TikToks we later saw on our For You page, I was like, oh, Christ, okay.
Yes. Oh my God. Every article is like that. I swear to God.
She took off her glasses and breathed on them, then wiped her shirt with it, telling me she never carries a glasses wipe.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Find a new journalism school.
Honestly, it's all the same. But like, I would literally kill to have
someone describe
like
me. Absolutely. That's like fan fiction come to life. That's all I want.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's the fan fiction. It's like fucking Edward walked by and
his green orbs looked into my eye, like
exactly.
Yeah.
What would your guys' articles be? Like, what would your like intro to the interview be?
I have to think of like something quirky to do to like
Mine would be like something like, she said sorry to every person she bumped into and said thank you like 1,000 times to the barista.
She was handed her coffee, and when the barista said enjoy, she said you too, blushing slightly.
Oh my gosh. Mine would be like so tragic. It would be like she came in 15 minutes after she said she would when she texted me she was late the first time. She took off her sunglasses and already looked very pissed off, like she wanted to leave.
I love that. Yeah, there's no way that mine doesn't include that I'm like extremely late and extremely rushed. Like,
late, rushed,
fumbling a million things in my hands, like
chronically Canadian, and like that's
like profusely apologizing to everyone she encountered. And that concludes our top 10 clips from RTBP's third year in existence. Thank you again so much for listening. And I want to shout out all of my guests that have joined me in the past year. I so appreciate you coming on and, you know, just taking time out of your day to share your knowledge, wisdom, and laughter with me. So thank you. Champ, Carly, Teddy, Nick, Alana, Sarah, Maddie, Ida, Nicole, Nissy, Alex, Lauren, Olivia, Zachary, Lisa, Kelly, Shireen, David, Claire, Mo, and Christina. I so appreciate you coming on the podcast. What is up next for RTBP? More guests. Our next episode is a deep dive into the Framing Britney documentary. I swear to God, I've teased this on the podcast 1,000 times, but it is finally edited and ready to go. So that will be up next week. But I have more guests, more petty, and more personal stories to come this year. My goal, my dream, my hope and wish for RTBP is that we could do some type of like virtual pop culture / celeb trivia night or something like that. If that's something you're interested in, I would love to get some of the listeners of RTBP together. We can gab and shoot the shit and talk shit and play some trivia. So let me know if that is of interest to you. Thank you again for listening. It has been an amazing 3 years. If you are not already, but I am assuming you are, follow along with my adventures at RTBP Podcast on all socials. And I hope that you are safe and healthy out there. As always, I'm your host, Torry, and I am ready to be petty. See you soon. Bye.